Back, dear children. So, the first line of the poem is there is a shed at the bottom of our garden. Just a recap of the poem. There is a shed at the bottom of our garden. You can see the shed here with the spider's web hanging across the door. You can see the spider web also here, right? The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. Hinges, you all know what an hinges is. Here I can see a hinge here. When I'm in bed, I lie and I listen. So the baby is listening there, listening to the shed. I'll open the door one day. So one day definitely I'll open the shed, door of the shed, right? Stanza 1, the explanation part, everything is over, right? There is a dusty old window around at the side. So, dusty old window with 3 cracked panes of glass. 3 cracked panes of glass, and I often think there is someone staring at me. See here, he's thinking about somebody staring at him. Each time that I pass the shed, I will peep through that window one day. Definitely I'll take a look of that window one day. This is stanza 2 and the explanation part we saw, right? My brother says there is a ghost in the shed. That ghost I have shown you, right? Who hide inside the rotten floorboards. Inside the floorboards there was a what? Ghost. And if I ever dare to set foot inside, what will happen? He will jump out and chop off my head, right? But I'll take a peep one day. So definitely I'll take a look one day. This is the next stanza. I know that there isn't really a ghost. All these are the lie, okay? My brother tells lie to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anything staring and make strange noises. And the spider has been gone from his web. Since I don't know when, I'll go into the shed one day soon. Okay? But not just yet. So this is the end of the poem. The poem was written by Frank Flynn. Okay, Frank Flynn is an author. He lived between 6th December 1906 in Sydney. Where he lived? He lived in Sydney. And 29 July 2000 he died. Right? And more about him, he lived in Northern Territory. He was an Australian doctor. He's an eye specialist, we can say. And he was an author, he was an eye specialist, he was a missionary priest also. He was a Christian missionary priest. Christian missionaries in the sense, he'll go to church and he'll pray and he'll give advice to other persons, right? He is notable for his contribution to religion, medicine, and welfare of the people. Welfare of Siddish. Siddish in the sense, the people who lived in Sydney. Okay, when he was born on 6th December 1906 and educated in Sydney. Received MBBS and first class honours in 1930. In 1931, he sailed to England, and in 1931 and 33, 34, all that he studied, and as well as he worked at the Royal Ophthalmic Hospital, Moorfields in London. So, World War II was coming at that time. Before World War II, he made several important contributions to the study of eye disease. And he gave an introduction to new drug also, which he named Midricin. and the design, patenting of machine also, operating and detaching retinas. For that he invented machineries, and he got patent rights also for that. So he was a great poet, he was a great doctor, he was good in religion also, right? Is it clear? So very good poet we had. Now the summary of the shed. There is a shed at the bottom of poet's garden, and the poet wishes to visit it one day. Children, you have to take note of all these things, right, in your classwork. There is a spider's web on the door of, and what happened to the hinges? The hinges were rusty and creak when the wind blows. Right? The poet often thinks about it while lying in his bed. On one side of the shed, there is a dusty window, and 3 of its window panes are broken. The poet feels as if someone stares at him through the window, and whenever the poet visits a shed, he would like to find out who lives there. That was a great question in his mind. The poet's brother informs him that a ghost lives inside the shed, and if the poet dares to enter the shed, the ghost would chop off his head. Despite these warnings, even then, all these warnings are given, even then, the poet wishes to visit the shed and peep inside. The poet believes that his brother tells him imaginative stories about the ghost, and he wants to keep the shed for himself. For that only he is telling lie. Right? The poet no longer feels anyone staring at him, hears any strange noises coming from the shed. So the spider too is no longer there. All these are the consolation process. Okay, thus very soon he would go inside the shed. Right, children? So working with the poem, you have your book with you, isn't it? So the questions are here. Who is the speaker of the poem? The speaker is the poet himself. Now, is he or she afraid or curious, or both? The speaker seems to be both curious as well as afraid to go inside the shed. He wants to find out what is inside the shed. At the same time, he is afraid about, he thinks that strange voices could be heard from here and there. It is possibly a ghost who lives inside the shed, right? What is he or she planning to do soon? He plans to go inside the shed after some day. Very soon, he's planning to go inside. But not just yet. What is that? It suggests whether it is a doubt, or it is a fear, or is it an hesitation, or is it laziness, or something else. What it is, dear? Choose the word which seems right to you, and you have to share it with me. And this is the answer. This is my answer actually, but not just yet seems to suggest lack of preparation. Actually, they told doubt, fear, hesitation, or laziness, or something else. So I suggest lack of preparation. The speaker wants to be further certain and prepare himself for his endeavor. He has always overcome his fears, so there is no fear now at present. However, waiting for the right time could be a reason for postponing the act. Right? Next is there a room in your house, or a house in your neighborhood or locality where you would rather not to go alone, never at night? Is there any such place? And a story that you heard? Okay, so you discuss, we all will hear that. You share it with your friends, you share it with your parents, and ask your parents also had any other story like this. So one small story we had, I'll share with you. There is a storeroom in my house which is in the backyard of the house. It is little away from the main structure in the sense main building. It is full of odd objects and not even lit properly. Thus, going to the storeroom at night calls for a lot of courage. We feel very afraid to go there at night time. My mother once asked me to fetch certain things from the storeroom. When I entered the storeroom, that's all. I felt as if I saw the movement of shadows. Have you seen the shadows, the movement of shadows in night time, and have you screamed with terror? Yes, I did on that day, screamed with terror. But later, I got to know that those shadows were nothing but it's my own shadows and it's all my own imagination. So, children, don't be afraid of anything. Be courageous to face the world, right? Shall we go to the next? So, these are the additional questions which, if you wish, you can take note, right? Why were the hinges of the door rusty? Why? You tell me the reason. Hardly anybody went inside the shed. Since the doors were not opened for a long time, its hinges had become rusty. Right? These are all the additional questions. There are possibilities of asking questions like this, right? What does the speaker usually do while lying in the bed? Very good. The speaker generally contemplated the idea of going inside the shed. Always he used to listen to the shed, right? Next question. What does a broken glass window suggest? The broken glass panes of the dusty window suggested the lack of maintenance. There was hardly anybody who went inside the shed. So cleaning the shed was a distant possibility, right? There is no chance of cleaning the shed at all. That is the reason why the broken glasses are very dusty. According to the speaker's brother, where did the ghost hid himself? Hid is a past tense for hide. Where did the ghost hid himself? According to the speaker's brother, the ghost hid himself under the rotten floorboards of the shed. Where, baby? Under the rotten floorboards of the shed. So, next is short answers. Only one question I am going to give you. All other questions you have to frame on your own. Right? What did the speaker's brother say about the shed? The speaker's brother talked about the presence of the ghost inside the shed. He also warned the speaker that if he ever went inside the shed, the ghost might chop off his head. Saying so, the speaker's brother frightened the speaker. That is what is true. Okay. So, second question, you have to try. Okay. Comment on the speaker's resolve to go inside the shed. So, this is your own answer. From our reading the poem, you have to try. What actually determined the poet to go inside the shed? Even though when his brother threatens him, he doesn't give up the idea, isn't it? He doesn't give up the idea of going inside the shed and to find himself the truth. He is finding himself. He is consoling himself. His desire to visit only gets postponed and delayed, but definitely he will visit one day, right? So I hope you'll understand the poem, dear. Let me finish off this poem with this question, right? If you have any doubt, you just go through this again and let me know. We'll discuss about the doubts. Thank you so much.